Deuteronomy Chapter 26 focuses on the Israelites' offerings of first fruits and tithes as acts of gratitude and devotion to God. Moses outlines the procedures for presenting these offerings and emphasizes the significance of remembering their history and God's faithfulness. The chapter begins with instructions for presenting the first fruits of the land. Moses guides the Israelites through a ritual where they bring their first fruits to the priest, make a declaration of thanksgiving, and acknowledge God's provision. This practice serves as a tangible expression of gratitude and a reminder of God's role in their agricultural blessings. Moses instructs the Israelites to set aside a tithe, a tenth of their produce, to support the Levites, foreigners, orphans, and widows within their community. This practice reflects the principles of compassion, social justice, and communal care, ensuring that those in need are provided for. The chapter also introduces a powerful declaration that the Israelites are to recite while presenting their offerings. This declaration traces their history from the time of Jacob's journey to Egypt, their oppression, and eventual liberation. It serves as a narrative of their connection to God's promises and His intervention on their behalf. Moses underscores the importance of keeping God's commandments and walking in His ways. He emphasizes that by adhering to these principles, the Israelites will continue to experience His blessings and favor. The chapter concludes by reaffirming the Israelites' covenantal relationship with God. Moses reiterates their commitment to being God's treasured people, and God's commitment to making them a nation that is set apart and dedicated to His service. In summary, Deuteronomy Chapter 26 highlights the practices of offering first fruits and tithes as expressions of gratitude, devotion, and social responsibility within the Israelite community. The chapter emphasizes the importance of remembering their history, adhering to God's commandments, and upholding their covenantal relationship with Him. These practices serve as reminders of God's faithfulness and the Israelites' commitment to living according to His principles. Let's now read Deuteronomy chapter 26. And it shall be, when thou art come in unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, and possessest it, and dwellest therein, that thou shalt take of the first of all the fruit of the earth, which thou shalt bring of thy land that the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt put it in a basket, and shalt go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place His name there. And thou shalt go unto the priest that shall be in those days, and say unto him, I profess this day unto the Lord thy God, that I am come unto the country which the Lord sware unto our fathers for to give us. And the priest shall take the basket out of thine hand, and set it down before the altar of the Lord thy God. And thou shalt speak and say before the Lord thy God, A Syrian ready to perish was my father, and he went down into Egypt, and sojourned there with a few, and became there a nation, great, mighty, and populous. And the Egyptians evil entreated us, and afflicted us, and laid upon us hard bondage. And when we cried unto the Lord God of our fathers, the Lord heard our voice, and looked on our affliction, and our labor, and our oppression. And the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand, and with an outstretched arm, and with great terribleness, and with signs, and with wonders. And He hath brought us into this place, and hath given us this land, even a land that floweth with milk and honey. And now, behold, I have brought the first fruits of the land, which thou, O Lord, hast given me. And thou shalt set it before the Lord thy God, and worship before the Lord thy God. And thou shalt rejoice in every good thing which the Lord thy God hath given unto thee, and unto thine house, thou, and the Levite, and the stranger that is among you. When thou hast made an end of tithing all the tithes of thine increase the third year, which is the year of tithing, and hast given it unto the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, that they may eat within thy gates, and be filled. Then thou shalt say before the Lord thy God, I have brought away the hallowed things out of mine house, and also have given them unto the Levite, and unto the stranger, to the fatherless, and to the widow, according to all thy commandments which thou hast commanded me. I have not transgressed thy commandments, neither have I forgotten them. I have not eaten thereof in my mourning, neither have I taken away aught thereof for any unclean use, nor given aught thereof for the dead, But I have hearkened to the voice of the Lord my God, and have done according to all that thou hast commanded me. Look down from thy holy habitation, from heaven, and bless thy people Israel, and the land which thou hast given us, as thou sworest unto our fathers, a land that floweth with milk and honey. This day the Lord thy God hath commanded thee to do these statutes and judgments. Thou shalt therefore keep and do them with all thine heart, and with all thy soul. Thou hast avouched the Lord this day to be thy God, and to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes, and his commandments, and his judgments, and to hearken unto his voice. And the Lord hath avouched thee this day to be his peculiar people, as he hath promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments. And to make thee high above all nations which he hath made, in praise, and in name, and in honor, and that thou mayest be an holy people unto the Lord thy God, as he hath spoken. This ends our reading of Deuteronomy chapter 26.